We know we ain't gonna make it.
It's been a while.
We're not gonna make
the
playoffs.
Welcome back to another episode of Spitting Fire. It's been a while.
Wow, 3 weeks?
It's been a while. Been a few weeks. Yeah, life happens.
Before the Bayern game was the last time we really said hello. So
yeah.
It's been a while. That was the 28th of August. Last league game was August 23rd.
Yeah. It's September 14th.
14th.
So yeah, life's been happening a little busy, but we're able to come back and film a little episode, and there's been some news, James. So the Fire acquired. Do you want to start there, or where do you want to go?
Movsisavin.
Try that one more time. Yuri Movsisavin.
It's Yura Movsisavin.
Sorry.
Movsisavin. Yeah, totally butchering it.
But you want to describe him? A guy from Real Salt Lake.
He's a striker by trade. Applied his, but he's been
DP for Real Salt Lake.
Was DP for Real Salt Lake. Also played for Kansas City, I believe, early on in MLS.
Spartak Moscow, Krasnodar.
Was in between, and then he's since come back to Real Salt Lake. He had one good year at Spartak amongst four seasons. The other three were pretty meh.
Yeah, he only had one double-digit scoring year, and I believe that was like 12 goals. Everything else is like 9, 8. So, yeah, he doesn't really hit the double-digit mark very much. So, and was a DP there. Again, we don't really know much about the player, but on the optics, I don't know.
As far as goal, he was about a goal every other game. So about 8. If you gave him 18 games, 9 goals or so. Just about over a goal every 2 games.
Lucho scored what? 7 goals last year?
Yeah, but about 27, 28 games. But he played a lot.
I don't know. Maybe they have Nico. We said this earlier in the year. Do they really need a striker? I guess so. They need another striker. So I don't know.
Do they have 6 strikers now, or do they have players who just don't necessarily fit? What is Collier? Is he a striker? What is MDL? Is he a striker or a secondary striker?
Well, obviously, I think the better question is they're acquiring this guy at the end of the year, so that obviously means he's in the plan for next year. So,
no, but they said he may not be. He's
only
on hook for this year as far as paying him.
So
and he was also on a $2 million salary. So if you bring him back at $2 million, that's DP level. I thought that we have all 3 DP slots locked up between Schweinsteiger.
Why sign this guy?
Katai.
Why sign this guy?
And Nico.
Is Nico gone?
Is Nico leaving?
Why else would you sign this guy?
Are you anticipating that? And even if Nico is leaving, is this really the guy that you're going to get to replace him? Nico is a goal-a-game player.
Golden Boot winner.
Basically, a goal-a-game player almost. 1.2% percentage
he had a good
per game when he's got service. Right now, he's probably at the same pace as Movsisavin.
Well, Katai's eating into a lot of his scoring chances, his shots. But the optics on this, it doesn't seem like he's a Nico replacement, and he's apparently a DP level guy.
Is he a Gordon replament? Because Gordon is what?
Not when you're making that much money, but I don't know. We'll see what this means.
And that's the other thing, because they claimed him on waivers. How does the salary work out? They haven't really said. Apparently, RSL will retain quite a bit of his salary, and the Fire got to elect how much salary they were willing to claim.
It's crazy. You know what's crazy? How NR really he likes other people's failed projects. Wasn't that Ramos? Wasn't that essentially Katai from when he was coming from? And now we got this guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely favors. It seems cast-offs. Another man's junk is another man's treasure, right?
Katai was in our case. That worked.
And that definitely worked out for us. But
what else we got? You want to talk about the upcoming game against, I believe, or Sunday, 4 o'clock?
Well, speaking Katai, who was a player who has been looking tired as the season wore on. Hopefully, these 3 weeks have afforded these guys tons and tons of rest to attack the last quarter of the season.
What he had? Wait, real quick. He had that? What was it? Amazing June, I believe. Maybe it was July. I don't know. It's been a while. We've been away.
It's been a long time.
I think it was an amazing June, and he pretty much cooled off since then. But it's great that the lads had 3 weeks. Kind of stinks from us fans. The last couple of weeks, be honest, we've been so busy, and there haven't been a match, so we haven't really been thinking too much about the Fire. And there really hasn't been any news until they just acquired this forward.
Well, here's some shocking news for you. Fire have played 27 games. They played 34 games total, which means that's 7 games left.
Okay.
They're a mere 10 points behind 6th place Montreal Impact with 36 points. I guess that's 12. Math's wrong. They're 12 points behind. That's 4 wins in a row out of 7. With 3 games still, assuming they lose all of their games, it ain't going to happen. So playoffs are probably out of reach, and really,
Playoffs are gone. The cup's
Basically
gone.
gone.
So, yeah, I guess Sunday we're just going there to have a great time, and that's what we're going to do.
And try and hold off San Jose from
The wooden spoon.
From the wooden spoon. Right now, San Jose has it with 20 points. Colorado has 24 points, just like the Fire. Orlando City, who is coming to town this weekend, also on 24 points.
Wow.
Struggle bus for them.
I mean, James, I guess we'll talk about this. I mean, what are your thoughts on the season as a whole, as of this point?
I've been super excited about the Bears. I need to see a lot more.
That game still hurts.
The game hurt. I'm not sold on Mitch Trubisky as the answer. I'm definitely curious about that. I'm waiting for his multi-touchdown game. But Nagy, despite him making mistakes, I think that he can certainly improve and get better. I heard somebody was saying that Andy Reid is not missing him at all, especially with Mahomes putting up 38 points in his first game.
These guys flash. Anyways,
Darnold's flashing.
Let's move back to stop football.
Well, that's
the real type of football.
Oh man, but yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I guess we're 3 weeks away. It's weird. We haven't really been thinking about the Fire much. But I mean, I remember
they've been gone for 3 weeks. They've been out of sight, out of mind, and nice in a way, kind of refreshing, kind of. But even still, when I came back to looking at schedule, I'm like, this is still not over. It's like what's this, flush already?
Well, it's crazy. I think that back at the beginning of the year, how excited I was. Then Khan was traded, and really after last year, you thought they were going to build upon it and be a playoff team and be more than a playoff team, maybe a team that can contend. But I mean, there's moves that took us backwards, and then it was just a slog all season. with Pano and his decisions and playing the kid. All he had was to play kids, really. So he had to play 100%. He had to manage. He had to be on top of his game, and he's made some errors. So I mean, there's just been so much there with the fan base. So
that Rocky business really pushing away a lot of fans.
So it's been a tough year. It definitely has been a tough year as a fan.
Nelson's held on to his cards way too long. Everybody is in 6 or 10 hands ahead, and he's still sitting on to his 10 deuce. His 10 deuce dead man's hand, basically.
10-2, all in.
And he's like, I'm all in. Everybody's 8 hands ahead of him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll pick up Mo Sassan. I'll pick up a center back. I'll pick up a center back who hasn't played since March and still hasn't played. He made the match day 18. Nico Del Greco made the match day 18 when they played in Bayern Munich. Which was a great game. It was awesome to see Basti score.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
Really fun.
For sure.
And hopefully really refresh the lads.
You never really answered the question. What are your thoughts on the season as a whole?
Junk. I'm pleased for the progress that we've seen from Brant Brodico.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough progress from the rest of the kids who were playing. But here's the thing. Maybe we have seen progress. Maybe what we see is progress. Maybe the fact that Collier and Campos and to a degree, Cleveland, Sanchez. Maybe these guys didn't excel. Excel in the minutes.
I think Campos got a lot of good first team time.
He had some excelling times, but maybe they didn't excel. But at the same time, this is a learning experience, and these guys were thrown into the deep end of the pool and expected to swim. We can't say that the proof is the pudding that they did sink to the bottom of the table. But it's not to say that they can't rise with all this extra game time that every one of them has been afforded.
But next year, who knows if Pano's going to be back? My guess is he's not.
Yeah, I haven't seen any movement on his contract.
He's going to be back. And then, are you really going to trust Nelson for what is he going to do? What is he? He's always sat, on his hands, and we regressed this year after, like I said before, having a good year. So what are we really going to expect this offseason? And I feel bad for the lads, the players. There's some quality players there. There's a good core of players there, and they need a little bit more pieces around them. I mean, Nico, Katai, there's two. I mean, come on. And in the league, it would be pretty hard to find a better pairing right there. I mean, you can look to Atlanta. And, after that, so you have 2 attacking threats. You have Bastian Schweinsteiger, Dax McCarty, Brent Bronico. So, it's just the core is there. So it's really frustrating. Again, in my perspective, if you put the right pieces around him, Hassler's come late.
That's an old core, between Schweinsteiger and Dax.
If that's there in the beginning of the season,
that's still a good
Hassler's helped a bit. Raheem Edwards has helped a bit. So again, it's just why not have those guys here in the preseason? And
they failed to build around their core.
They didn't.
They left dramatically big holes that were unfilled.
Goalkeeper, center backs, fullback.
Never replacing Jalmira, which they've heard us say this all countless times. But Jalmira never being replaced as a leader. The right wing being a hole for 2 years now. Lucho Solaniak never filling it. The Cam being a hole for over 4 years.
I think the biggest drop-off was fullback play. Brandon moved to the inside. Matt Polster's injury was such a bummer. Big. It hurt us
setback
for the team. Yeah, it really hurt us. And last year they were one of the biggest positives, getting forward, being two-way, and crossing and getting assists. So, yeah, there's just a lot of things different this year than last year. But I mean, it definitely is going to revolve around who's Nelson going to bring in and how active is he going to be this offseason.
So let me bring it back around to Nelson. Nelson and Ryan Pace bear such similarities. These guys are the biggest mixed bag general managers in town, maybe in both of the respective leagues. Because look at the big fish that they've both been able to land, a Khalil Mack and a Bastian Schweinsteiger. But then look at the turd nuggets that they produce everywhere else in the field. They have the highest paid center back, cornerback pairing in the league that is currently 31st out of 32 teams.
No picks.
So no. In the ratings right now, 31 out of 32 because they're amongst the worst cornerbacks in the league. But they're the highest paid pairing in the league.
Yeah.
If not the second highest paid pairing. It's ridiculous. So you have those misfires on Ryan Pace's resume. In addition to failing with his first coach, which was, he was supposedly forced to pick. Apparently Pano kind of forced into with Nelson. Nelson was kind of forced because he wasn't able to get Tom Ronalds. Guess what? They're both going to get another pick at the apple tree.
Yeah.
Oh. So they're both going to get another 3-year plan.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? Look at the similarities between these two guys with mixed bags. Now, as much as their failings, as much as their successes are, there's
Ryan Pace has built a way younger and more sustainable roster. I mean, like you're saying, Nico, I think he's not that
29,
old.
30.
29, 30 years old.
30 years old.
Basti's old.
34,
I mean, he's still
33.
playing great, though. Dax is not
31,
getting any
32.
younger. And so, really, who else is there? I mean, what else is the question?
Those are the older guys.
He's
Katai's 27,
mid-20s.
28.
But, I mean, Polster, Matt Polster. He's one of my favorite players.
Younger.
But, I mean, best ability is availability, and he hasn't been around the last 2 years.
Kapov is younger, 28, I think.
I mean, Brandon is younger, but he wasn't playing left back, kind of
and he faded, yeah.
And Richard's young, but I don't really believe in Richard. I mean,
and then let's go back to Pace, who picks trades up to get Mitch Trubisky, and all these other quarterbacks that were picked up behind Trubisky are showing a lot more success and a lot more immediately. For being picked number 2, you're expecting the guy to be a day one starter.
Well, here's the thing.
And you get that with Deshaun Watson. You got that with Mahomes almost, because he did wait a year. But day one that he starts, boom. Darnold, day one starter. Jared Goff, I think, took a year to figure it out. But Carson Wentz was basically a day one.
Well,
so they picked these guys, though, and just a failure. So, I mean, a failure of talent.
They reached on a lot of these guys. They reached on a lot of these guys, and there were projects, and there's obvious moves. And I think, relating this back to our GM and I mean, there were obvious moves. Again, we don't know the logistics of the MLS and how it works.
Or the NFL.
When Spector became available, I mean, Brad Guzan became available.
We're chomping at the bit.
There's certain players that you hear their names out there, and you're like, why would you not get this Carlos Vela? It's like, why would you not pounce at these guys?
If you could go get Guillermo Ochoa at the opportunity to go get Ochoa if he was all into the Bulls.
Yeah, there's like these names. There's these names that are potentially coming to the MLS, and you're just like, wow, that makes a lot of sense for the Chicago Fire, and they never come. It's just like, so I don't know.
Well, look at Didier Drogba, who forced his way out of town. We had the allocation process to pick him, but he's like, nah, I don't want to go there.
Nah.
Because he knew, and nobody really wants to come here. In fact, the players that we're playing here want to get out of here. And the proof is in the pudding. A lot of legendary Fire players are elsewhere.
That is a good point.
Elsewhere. Logan Paus, elsewhere. CJ Brown, elsewhere. Armis, elsewhere.
Yeah.
All these guys, elsewhere. Gonzalo Cigares, elsewhere.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. I mean, this new regime has definitely alienated a lot of those
when you needed a left back,
Fire players.
When you needed a left back, couldn't recruit DeMarcus Beasley to come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be a player I would have been knocking on the door of.
I know.
Way back a couple years ago.
Any other final thoughts? I think we were pretty good. I mean,
Sunday
will be fun. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. And
I think that we're going to have enough. I think that because Nelson Rodriguez has been awarded a contract earlier this season, I think that we're doomed to have another year of him at least.
Our hope is Mansueto.
And
Mansueto is our only hope, and you haven't really heard much about him.
Yeah, we haven't heard much about him since he grabbed 49%, and he's still 1% from kicking out.
Yeah, but you haven't heard much about that guy. He's sitting
old
on his
hottie
hands,
face.
So yeah.
We need to see some changes on the front from the executive side. But what's Pano going to show this weekend? What's Pano going to show the rest of the season? Where's Pano going to end up?
I don't know. Those questions.
Back in Europe?
Don't know the
Probably.
answer to.
and probably go right onto a team.
Coach in Serbia again. Maybe be surprised if he's snapped up there again.
And if the Fire do recruit a coach, it sounds like it's going to be a European coach. Because you can't get an American coach, you can't recruit Caleb Porter, can't get Berhalter, because Berhalter's probably going to the Galaxy or to the U.S. men's national team. It sounds like
I want Berhalter.
Berhalter is going to be leaving the unknown situation of Columbus. Probably his number one spot is either USA or LA Galaxy, and they're going to give him a run of the reins.
No, USA. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they're also looking into Vermes, but Vermes just signed a long-term deal at Kansas City, so that was another option that they were looking at. Tata Martino might be moving on from Atlanta.
Like I'll try to think about
when does Joseph Martinez move on from Argentina?
Oh my God,
Atlanta? Because
him and Almiron.
They're probably not long for this league.
How much long? Yeah, they're going to be there. But anyways.
So yeah, just some things. Yeah. If you guys have any other interesting comments or topics for us to talk about, toss them down in the comments.
Yeah, it's fun to be back. Nice to be back.
Yeah, it's been nice.
I'm sure we were a little rusty, but
trusty, hopefully. All right, boys and girls.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
See you guys
later. Have a good one. Go Fire.
Go Fire.
See you Sunday.
Toss a like if you enjoyed it.
Woo.